meditation of an ancient kind, exhaling through my third eye, stand strong in what I know.
Hey guys, I'm in a very beautiful forest near Hamburg, and my camera's mounted on my scooter, so there hasn't been a miracle and I'm walking or anything. I'm still using a electric vehicle to get around whilst I'm ill. But I need to come to places like this because the city drives me crazy, and I'm very at home in nature. You all know that. But in this setting as well, for me, growing up in England, it's identical realistically to Germany with regards to nature. The only difference is they have wild boar here. And I'm just at peace and at home. And up in the city I'm not. And part of the main reason I'm not, number one is I just hate the greyness and the sharp edges of cities. It drives me mad. I must prefer, as Alan Watts said, I prefer the wiggles of nature. Alan Watts once said, I'll steal his words. I much prefer the wiggles of nature. They're just more satisfying to me. But this is my stomping ground. I spent years alone developing who I am in nature like this, identical to this. And it feels like home wherever I am. It feels like my church, as I often say. Somebody misinterpreted me saying that my church is a forest and thought I'd built a church in Africa recently. So the forest I deem as my church. I didn't build that, but it's really cool. It is a shelter as well. Someone must have been sleeping here. There's a few of them around as well, so maybe some homeless people, I don't know, but cool. One of the frustrations I have in the city is mind control. There's so much mind control. It's epic. It's unreal. And I see the people, and they don't necessarily always look happy, and yet they are embracing avenues that they've been fed. Now, let me put something to you. If somebody suggested to you that you would sit at home for the next year, and once a week or perhaps once a day, you would watch something, you would have your eyes propped open, you had to watch it, and it would feed you information. It would tell you that gluttony will make you happy and it's adorable. It will tell you that having sex with multiple partners is perfectly normal and energetic, and anyone who's spiritual is woo and ridiculous, and that the most centered and correct way of doing things is to believe in evolution and we're just people on a rock and there's no spirit or anything. Most of you would say, well, that's ridiculous. Who would subject themselves to that? Who would subject their children if you're a parent? Would you subject your child to that? To listen to somebody over and over again telling you that gluttony is good, sex with multiple partners is good, it's all adorable and funny and cute. Would you do it? And the answer's clearly no, you never would. Recently I watched Friends for the first time, big hit TV show. In the West at least, I believe globally as well. And when I was a younger man, before I woke up to my true self and I understood that I had all of these faculties that I'd suppressed from myself, like talking to spirit and talking to God and getting guidance from angels, and all of this is how I define everything that's happened with Share Tanzania. And there are people out there who are very intellectual and normally challenge me and say, it's nonsense, how can you say that? I say, cool, okay. Angels are messengers of light. Science has photons which carries information and messages. Photons travel on angles of light. It's as simple as that, guys. It's there, and it's an ability to have. And to make fun of that ability is to it's like to make fun of collectively humanity if they were to walk instead of just use electric vehicles, or collectively make fun of any attribute, speech. It's exactly akin to that. Now, when you watch Friends, it does all of that to you. The most adorable, lovable, cuddly character is Joey, a glutton and a sex addict, always gluttonizing, always seeking sex. I'm not saying the actor, Matt LeBlanc, is like a satanic guy. A lot of people are totally unconscious. They just got an acting job. They don't know. And I'm not even saying the show was written to do that. Maybe the person who wrote the show, perhaps, the the person who wrote the show, was already kind of locked into that programmed mindset of a way of life for humanity. But let's look at the whole show and what it does to the human consciousness. And you're watching it, and because there's bright colours and there's got the odd quirky funny line in it, and there's these people that you bond with and you feel like they're actually your friends, but they're not, they're just characters on a screen, then you start to have a bond to it. And only because of that, you're still receiving the crappy information. You're still being programmed. Joey is a glutton and a sex addict. He's always happy, he's always cuddly, he's a little bit, he's a little bit silly. That's not the case. You try and be happy as a glutton and a sex addict. You're not going to be. I guarantee it. You cannot have the demeanor of that character whilst gluttonizing unless you're exercising your ass off every day and having multiple sexual partners, because you're just splitting your energy everywhere. And it doesn't go away. You tie your soul to people when you're having random sex with different people, and it pollutes your spirit, pollutes your soul, pollutes your temple. And then you look at the only spiritual person who ever mentions God. Probably, potentially, one of the most powerful people there, because you have this ability to be guided by something that has infinitely more wisdom than what we do. Phoebe, if you've seen the show, Phoebe's always made to look like an oaf, like a buffoon. She speaks of synchronicity. Synchronicity is that people, not just me, massively successful people all over the planet speak of synchronicity as a tool. And it's only unsuccessful academics who condemn it. You know, Confucius was very clear in his words. And he said, a great man is a man of great action, not a man of many words. Now, if you've got academics sitting there mocking this stuff, but they've got nothing around them that they've achieved, Confucius has answered that problem. But the mockery of it is unbelievable. One of the most powerful tools humans have is synchronicity.
Mon, speaking of which, Dan says he knows someone you can call for an interview.
Really? Okay, right there. That's the third sign today, right there.
Okay, on behalf of everyone, I'd just like to say my hand.
No, because you just said Dad. And everywhere I go today, I keep getting signs telling me to go see my father. Like when I was walking over here and I passed a buffet, which is my father's last name. And they were serving Frank's, which is his first name minus the S at the end.
Yes.
And there was a rotisserie with spinning chicken.
His Indian name?
No, because I chickened out the last time. And I tried to meet him, so, I mean, coincidences? I don't think so.
Freaky.
Wow, freaky.
Weird.
Okay, so who wants the last hamburger?
Oh, all right, that's it. Now I have to go see him.
Why?
Hamburger? McDonald's? Old MacDonald had a farm. My dad is a pharmacist.
And she is mocked in the show for her synchronistic beliefs very often. The most centered guy, who's got the nice collected appearance and he seems to be the most educated, is a paleontologist who promotes Darwinism.
Like crop circles, or the Bermuda Triangle, or evolution.
Whoa. But you don't believe in evolution?
Nah, not really.
You don't believe in evolution?
I don't know. It's just, monkeys, Darwin. It's a nice story. I just think it's a little too easy.
Too easy? The process of every living thing on this planet evolving over millions of years from single-celled organisms is too easy?
Yeah, I just don't buy it.
Excuse me. Evolution is not for you to buy, Phoebe. Evolution is scientific fact, like the air we breathe, like gravity.
Oh, okay. Don't get me started on gravity.
You don't believe in gravity?
And nothing but Darwinism. I think enough said for me on that. I haven't met a true evolutionist who has said that there's no way that you can't incorporate that with God. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So just because a set of rules was placed out, that eliminates God. It's not the case. So you have a constant situation going on. Then you have all the relationships going on, which are societally different and not always as acceptable as what society's wanting us to think it is. One of the characters, Chandler, has a transvestite mother.
Hello, all. Hi, Dad.
Now, the topic of transvestites is a tricky one. I don't want to upset anybody. I don't have any friends who are that way, so I don't know. I can't really pass any thoughts on it whatsoever. But what I can say is that there are many, many problems with changing children with hormone therapy, etc. And I think it's a little bit wrong and disgusting because there are many, many adults who have said, I wish to God I hadn't done this to myself because I feel it was a mental illness. And that's coming straight from people who have had a sex change. So I think promoting it as a normality, okay, promote it as something that's happening inside society, but is it that common? No, it's not. But the media wants you to think it's common. It wants to dissolve all concept of what is normality, what is a family unit. You have natural expressions of what you are. And for instance, a man is fiercely jealous of the woman that he has chosen to be with for the rest of his life, or the woman that he has had maybe a child with. A man is fiercely jealous and protective of that person. During the show Friends, they have a situation where the woman, Rachel, is pregnant. I used to watch this when I was younger, of course, but this is the one I watched with Fritzy. Rachel is pregnant. And then the guy who's the father is a guy called Ross. And then the friend falls in love with Rachel, and Ross has to give his blessing or he's not a good guy. That's not natural. It's not natural. It's feeding you free love, new age bullshit. It's not natural. If Fritzy and I separated now and she was pregnant with my child and a friend of mine came and said, I'm in love with Fritzy, I'm supposed to, according to that, to be a proper man, to go, okay, then yes, you should go and see if you can be in love. Everything about a man, if you ask a man, everything about him will tell him not to do that. And that's natural. That's who we are. That's what humans are. Just as these trees are doing what they do and nobody's in here saying, do it that way, grow that way, oh, you grew that way because of the sun did this to you. No, we just go in, we accept it, we go, oh, beautiful. We go into humans and that natural thing rises in all men. I ask any man, any woman who was pregnant with his child, if he would be happy to let his friend then start trying to have relations with her. His immediate thing would be repulsion and anger. But the show changes it and makes it into a bullshit concept. It's just constantly bombarding the psyche with nonsense. And no wonder people can't go forward. And if you're listening to me now, you must appreciate something I've done, or something I've said, or something I believe, or a way I've lived. And predominantly it's Share Tanzania. It's what we did for the children. That's what people admire, and some of the stuff that I said has helped me to become the person who wanted and was able to do that. If you admire something like Share Tanzania, I can tell you this. I didn't watch any television or any movies as I built Share Tanzania. Not one. From 2012, pretty much, I think, I eliminated all entertainment media. And I would only absorb media if it was educational, and it would allow me to grow towards the purpose that I had been called to. As I received that email on the 22nd of November 2011, on the 11th day of my fast at 11:11 a.m., that was my calling. And I knew then, get disciplined. I was still hooked on drugs. I stopped drugs, I stopped smoking, everything, because I knew God had said, there's something here for you that's better than this. And it was. But if I'd been watching TV shows, or drinking with my friends, or so on, common Western behaviours, undisciplined, entertainment, entertain me, I need to be entertained. How we've sadly been programmed, it's not your fault, you were programmed that way by the society you were born into. Unless we unprogram that, you would never ever build a Share Tanzania. Whilst you wouldn't be able to do it. I've took massive blows over there with everything, health, emotional, the whole lot. if I was still watching TV shows and confused about how humans work due to them, I wouldn't have survived, I don't think, literally. I would not have coped. And this is the problem. Humanity is mind controlled, big time. And in Europe, when I'm here, I can see it, clear as day. Habituated consumerist behaviour, habituated citizen behaviour, going out at weekend and getting drunk because you just can't stand the week you've just faced, working jobs that you don't want to work, to live in homes that are not beautiful, in grey streets, and to get money to buy loads of shit that you don't need to impress people, as George Carlin said. My words have crossed over with his here, to impress people that you don't even know, and you don't care about. Oh, what a horrifically empty way they want to push upon us. Sacred beings, all with a strand of angelicness within us somewhere, and all of us with an ability to commune with God. You know, as Saint Athanasius said, Athanasius of Alexandria, because there's two, he said God became man so that man can become God. Now, he's not saying it's hypothesis, it's not heretical. He's saying that you can blend with the divinity of God. You too, through pursuing the higher self of what a human is, you can find the union and the space to be within that energetic divine field. You're there with God. You're guided by Him. And yeah, there's an opposing force, and it wants that not to happen. But that opposing force is the one behind such narratives as that most famous of shows, Friends. And if you hear any of the things I've said there, when you watch your next show, look, see what's happening. If I had the energy, I'd watch some more just to see, because I'm sure there are plenty. But I just don't. I don't want to pollute myself while I'm not well with that stuff. I've got to get better, because I've got work to do. But guys, be aware, honestly. To mock spirituality, to mock synchronicity as they do with that character, Phoebe, would be akin to me mocking somebody using their hands. Saying how ridiculous is that they use their hands. How silly, only stupid people do that. And that's exactly what the opposition to our higher selves have done, bit by bit by bit. They've made many people feel that the use of something as valid and as important as their hands is dumb and stupid and woo, and they've atrophied it. I think I've said all I need to. God bless, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here, be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all. Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.